Join the online revolution now and spread the word. Toxic Radio. Play safe. Play toxic.
We will talk about wrestlers who never broke kayfabe. I was just going around online. I happened to see this list, and I feel it's fun to share. It's fun to share. A little story time. So the first person here is Ric Flair. Ric Flair! Limousine riding. Jet flying, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, Ric Flair.
I just elbow dropped my jacket on the break.
You did.
That right there is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Now you just need to throw a shoe. My shoes cost more than your house.
TJ, catch. Just have a little bit of fun.
But some of you may know that Ric Flair survived a plane crash in 1975. Traveling with him were Tim Woods and his character rival, Johnny Valentine, who got paralyzed for life from his plane crash. Woods knew that if word got out that he was traveling with his supposed arch enemy, the consequences for wrestling would be disastrous. So he had to act. When he arrived at the hospital, he lied about his identity, saying he was a promoter and not a wrestler. Rumors still got out that he was traveling with Valentine, so he wrestled a match with a broken back 2 weeks after a crash that killed the pilot, ended the careers of 2 other wrestlers, and put Ric Flair on the shelf for 6 months. Yeah.
Damn.
They're talking about going far.
Like hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn, dude.
I think we're going to be hearing that a lot.
Goddamn plane crash.
Ted DiBiase. Yeah, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Vince McMahon went to great lengths to protect the on-screen character of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, including having him roll around in a limo with valets anytime he was seen in public. I wish I had that gimmick. I wish I did.
And he got paid for it.
Yeah, he got paid for it. In fact, McMahon even gave him allegedly $1,000 a day to blow just so he could be seen doing it.
Oh, my God.
He said, here's a quote from DiBiase about those allegations. He says, it was a tough gig, but someone had to do it. He said that it's ceremony.
That's a $365,000 a year salary.
And he could just blow it. He's allowed.
And then he gets paid.
To be that character.
He gets paid outside of that $1,000 a day.
Yeah. I'd assume so. You know,
Jesus Christ.
Although, you know, I think a smart businessman would be like, yo, that's your pay, but be stingy. But don't be stingy.
Yeah. 200 of that $1,000 is your pay.
Yeah. Nikita Koloff, originally wrestling as Nelson Scott Simpson, then legally changed his name to Nikita Koloff to keep in the Russian Nightmare character. He didn't speak anything but pretend Russian and 11 words of broken English for an entire year, even when the cameras were off. He even used an interpreter, quote unquote, when renting an apartment and never broke character until his retirement in 1992, holding on to the Russian accent for even another 2 more years after that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was retired and he still kept his character.
Right.
He didn't even need to.
Yeah. Like, remember, people, this is the days before the internet, before we even knew what kayfabe. Before we even knew that was a word.
Yeah. Before it existed.
We didn't even know like that. I think they call it talking carny. I think that's what they call it. Just so that way it's like a language that they knew that other people wouldn't know because it's kayfabe.
Yeah.
Big Boss Man. You mentioned him earlier tonight. Before becoming the Big Boss Man, Ray Washington Taylor Jr. played a bodyguard for Jim Cornette. Once when arriving to a show with Cornette, Taylor had a cab door accidentally slammed onto his fingers by the driver. Oh. He didn't seem to be hurt at all until they went into the building. That's when Taylor dropped his bags and started screaming while holding his hands. That's just awesome.
Wow.
Give him an Oscar. Ow. Well, they wouldn't give Leonardo DiCaprio.
Give him a
Oscar.
damn at least.
Yeah, he deserves a damn. Damn. You deserve it.
Dude. Damn. Ow,
rest in peace, too, man.
It hurts so bad.
Big Bubba Rogers. That's another name he went by. Do you remember the Great Suzuki?
I believe it.
He was a Japanese wrestler. The Great Suzuki became the first masked legislator after being elected to the Iwate Prefectural Assembly in 2003 and never took his mask off. He will be in a suit, wearing his mask as a legislator in office. That's awesome.
It'd be us.
Oh,
like if we were masked wrestlers, we'd be doing this whole show masked.
We would.
I know someone who never breaks kayfabe.
Ugh.
It's not who you're thinking.
Oh, okay.
They're not even wrestlers.
Because
it's a faction, if you will.
Broken Matt Hardy, we mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that. I don't like it. Kudos for him for sticking to it. He's doing a good job, but it sucks.
There he is. If you look in the chat, there's him.
There's the Grace Suzuki. If you're in the chat room, which you can go online. If you're listening to us, you should be in the chat room on the computer. And you can also go on the chat room on the Toxic Radio app, which is free for both iPhones and Androids.
Shameless plug. But
of course.
Remember the guest we had on here when we first moved into our studio?
Incest Burner.
They did not break character their entire time.
Woo salute to Incest Burner.
Woo! We've met them on multiple occasions.
Yeah, they're great.
We were hanging out with those guys, and they don't break character. Like, the one guy didn't say a word.
They went to
Soluna
with us afterwards and still wore masks.
Yeah. And they sang karaoke, too, which was even funnier.
It was great.
It was a good time.
The Wild Samoans. We all know the Wild Samoans. The brothers Afa and Sika Anoa were known as savages who would eat raw fish, tear chickens apart with their bare hands, and never talk, having manager Lou Albano do all the talking for them. We all remember that. That was just for the people who don't. One day, they were hitching a ride with less popular at the time Hulk Hogan when they were pulled over by a state trooper in the state of New Jersey. Wow, who'd have thought that, right?
Yeah, nice state, DJ. Dick.
As Hogan opened the glove box to get his registration, the trooper saw a gun that Hogan bought while in Florida. In New Jersey, an unregistered handgun carried a mandatory 1-year prison sentence at the time, so Hogan and the Samoans were ordered out of the car and handcuffed. Despite Hogan's pleas to explain the misunderstanding, being innocent of any wrongdoing and speaking fluent English, the Samoans refused to speak up and break character, preferring to go to jail rather than to break kayfabe.
Wow, dude.
Oh my God! Yeah.
They went to jail for their gimmick.
Yep.
Oh, wow,
that's when Captain became lawyer Lou Albano.
Yeah.
El Santo. El Santo was one of the most popular masked wrestlers in history and a pop culture icon in Mexico, with his fame extending to comic books and terrible movies. For 42 years, he would make sure he was never seen in public without his signature mask on. He had a chinless variant of the mask for eating and took flight separate from the filming crew when he had a movie shoot so that the crew wouldn't see him unmasked when going through customs. Once, when driving from Mexico to Texas for a movie shoot, he asked the producer who was accompanying him to look away as he unmasked himself for a border control agent. The only time he unmasked was over a year after his career was over. He died a week later and was buried with the mask on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those luchadors, man, they don't.
I love the outfits luchadors wear. I wish we had more of that in America. We have Kalisto and whatnot, but I love the flashy outfits.
It's
It looks so cool.
Much fun. They
and
look like superheroes.
Yeah, it is. And they down in South America, especially in Mexico, lucha libre wrestlers, that's a tradition.
Yeah, it's like a pride thing.
It is, and usually, like, I believe there's like 4 La Parkas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just gets passed down through generations because that's the character that everyone loves to see. Of course, you have to be good enough, right?
Of course.
But the last one, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Let me tell you a story, if you will.
If you will.
Dusty Rhodes was famous for keeping kayfabe even within his own family. On WWE's Rise and Fall of NWO documentary, Cody Rhodes, former WWE superstar, talks about watching his father, a member of the Notorious Hero faction, attacking Rey Mysterio and having the Dream maintain kayfabe even to his own son when replying to him. Not only that, but when Cody was upset that his father joined the NWO in the first place, Dusty was forced by his wife to tell the child what was really going on because he refused to break kayfabe to reassure his own son. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby.